told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never.
Hey guys, and welcome to another handbag review. This time I am reviewing the Louis Vuitton Noe bag, and when I was doing some research into this bag before buying it, there were some really mixed reviews. So you either love a bucket bag or you hate it. So I wanted to give you guys my opinion on the bag and the experience that I've had with it. Now, a little about the bag itself. Obviously it is in the black epi leather, which I absolutely love because it is so durable and it honestly goes with absolutely every outfit. The other thing is it's got the classic Louis Vuitton hardware, which is the brass sort of hardware that can be polished up, and whenever I do polish it up, it is due actually, but when I do polish it up it looks brand new again. And it was made in 1995, so it is a vintage piece. I didn't realize how much I would use this bag until I got it, and it honestly, all of my other bags, I'm making more of an effort to try and use them, but whatever I actually just reach for, what goes with every outfit, what can fit everything that I need, it is always this bag. So the reason that I opted for the Noe bag in the first place is because 5 days out of the week I work in an office, and so the bag that I use most of the time is my work bag, and I like to put a lot of time and effort and thought into my work bag because I want to make sure it's functional and it does everything that I need it to do. So when I was looking at purchasing a new work bag, I've always had tote bags, but I wanted a designer handbag. So before this bag I had a Dylan Kane tote bag, which I absolutely loved, and then before that I had a Ralph Lauren handbag, and I've had some really beautiful tote bags over the years and they did me so well, but I really was starting to look into more of the designer handbags, and the more I read up about vintage Louis Vuitton and just vintage handbags themselves, I really started to fall in love with the whole vintage designer thing, because I think it's because I didn't really see a designer handbag as something that I would ever be able to own, and even if I did have the money to buy one, I never thought that I would. But vintage designer is within my budget, so I guess it's kind of like a win-win situation. It has a beautiful history to it, which I love, but it's also affordable, and it's really nice to know that these bags get a new life because there are people like me who love designer items, but we also, it is within our price range. So I was on the hunt for a new work bag, and I was on Pinterest, and the Louis Vuitton Noe in the classic monogram, I'll pop a little picture on the screen, it kept popping up on Pinterest, and I just loved the look of it. I loved how casual it was, and that if you were wearing like a bit more of a corporate outfit, or even if you were very casual, it kind of went with everything. And I didn't see it as much as the other tote bags like the Louis Vuitton Neverfull. I was really looking into that. Again, they're really hard to find within my budget, so I was looking at that bag. But then again, the Noe, I didn't see as many people wearing the Noe, and I liked that part of it as well. And I looked on YouTube and I came across this video of a young girl reviewing the Noe bag because she used it as her uni bag, and straight away I could see from that video that the functionality of this bag was there, and that is massive for me. It's one thing for a bag to look really nice, but if it is not functional and it doesn't hold everything that I need in a nice orderly kind of way, then I'm not really interested in it. So I then started my hunt for a vintage Noe bag because, again, this style bag has been around for so long, so there are vintage Noes on the market. So I started to look, and I got really excited because they weren't hard to come by. There were plenty of them, and originally I was looking for the classic monogram, but the more and more that I looked, and the more that I've owned vintage bags, it is more important to me that the quality and the condition is really good, rather than whether or not it's a black epi leather or whether it's a monogram. If I get a monogram and there's just cracking or anything, I would much prefer to have a black one, but it be in really, really good condition. So I was looking on eBay through the Japanese sellers. I've spoken about the Japanese sellers that I buy off in other videos. I am an avid eBay bidder and I love the whole process. So anyway, I was on there, and after many weeks of looking, this one came up, and the reason why I started to bid on this one was because the condition was the best I'd seen in like the weeks that I'd been looking. So I started to bid, and as you can see, the only wear and tear that I could see that was noticeable, there's a fair bit of cracking on the drawstring here, which does start to worry me, but I'm sure if I go on Etsy, there would be a seller who sells these. So I'm going to have a look at that. At the moment it's okay, but it is getting worse and worse because I use this bag every single day. But yeah, it was in such great condition, so I started bidding and I won the bid, and I ended up getting this bag for about 450 Australian dollars. I knew that I didn't want to go above $500 for a vintage designer bag, and I also knew that if I missed out on that bid, there would be more coming. So the Louis Vuitton Noes do pop up a lot, so I wasn't too worried if I didn't win that bid, but I did end up getting it for 450 Australian dollars, and I was so happy that that's the price that I got it at, because I was willing to go up to 500. So when the bag arrived, it was in beautiful condition. There's slight wearing on the corners, and underneath is still really in good condition. And the other thing is, I honestly think it was in a lot better condition when I got it, but I have thrashed this thing and I've probably used it religiously for about 6 months, so I'm not surprised if a lot of the wear has happened from me. The other reason why I love buying vintage bags is because I don't baby my bags, and I don't know if I ever could, because they're not there to look pretty for me, they're there to do a job. So if I went and bought a brand new bag and I was creating scratches or anything on it, I would just feel so bad. But that is the good thing, is that anytime there's dryness or I scratch it, I'm not too phased, because it already has that kind of, not weathered, but it has that look to it, so it really doesn't bother me at all. So I am really able to use it to its full capacity. So here is the bag. As you can see here, it's got this beautiful, really thick strap here. I love how thick the strap is. Very durable, it's all adjustable. You've got buckles on both sides, there and there. And the thickness of the strap makes this bag so comfortable. I have filled this bag with water bottles. I had an iPad in there. I had just like, not to mention all of the stuff I generally keep in my bag day to day. And I walked from work up to the local post office, which is probably maybe like 200 meters there and 200 meters back, and my shoulder didn't feel any, it wasn't an issue at all. Like, I didn't even think about it. It wasn't until I got back that I thought, wow, like, I cannot believe how much is in this bag, and it feels fine. It's not heavy at all. So the fact that the strap is really nice and thick, and that it sits up a little higher, like it's not a super long strap, it sits up a little higher. The epi leather is really flexible and just molds to your body. I think all of those elements together make it a really comfortable bag. So if you're worried about this bag, and because you can fit a lot in it, and people are worried, oh, I don't know if I want it, because what if I fill it up and it just is too uncomfortable? But personally, my opinion on the bag is that it is very comfortable, and I have had a lot in this bag. So that's a little bit about how I came to purchase the bag, a little bit about the bag itself, and why I love it so much and why it's so comfortable. Now, I've been trying to think of the cons of this bag, and the only cons I can think of is that there are no feet on the bottom. So I think that would help a lot. There are some Noe bags on eBay that I've seen with quite damaged bases on them, and it's just a shame, because some brass feet on the bottom would really help that. So that is honestly the only thing. Like, I really am trying to find some more faults here to not be so biased towards it, but I'm honestly just in love with the bag. So Now I'm going to give you a little overview of what I keep inside, just so you can see sort of what fits. Remy's just jumped up to listen in on my handbag review. So now I'm going to show you what fits inside. So as you can see there, it's a large bucket bag, and I do have an organizer in there. I have an organizer for all of my work bags. They're game changing, and I went with the cream color because I find that that color is the best to find items because you can see them really easily. This bag, before I had the organizer in there, it is black inside and it was difficult to find things. So I think that if you do go this bag, getting an organizer is a really good idea. So inside the bag, as you can see, I have my MacBook in there, and the reason I don't generally carry my MacBook in there day to day, but I just wanted to show you guys for reference of what can fit inside. So there is the MacBook standing in there like that, and from the top it doesn't pop out the top at all. So yeah, it fits really, really well. So if I pop that out, it is the, I think it's the 13-inch MacBook. So if you have one of those, it'll fit in here really nicely. And then this one here is the 11-inch iPad. And again, that fits in there really easy with even more space. So that's generally what I do keep in here. I do have an agenda that I use, like a big diary that I use always. But since getting an iPad, I'm trying to go a little more electronic. So I'm just trying to keep all of my reminders, my calendar and everything, all my to-do lists that I do day to day and what I use my agenda for. I'm trying to use my iPad for that because it syncs up with my watch and it syncs up with my phone. And I just think if I get into the swing of that, it'll just make my life really easy, and I'll have reminders and I'll just won't ever forget anything. So if you guys know of any apps other than just the standard calendar, I would love to find an app that's a bit more like a diary, like an agenda. That would be amazing. So anyway, in the side there, I keep the iPad. So inside the organizer, I might just pull it out. I'm just going to pull out the whole organizer so you can see everything fits in there really, really nicely. I have my keep cup, which I take with me everywhere. I have my sunglasses. These are just the Prada sunglasses. I might actually show you because they're new and they're really, really beautiful. Those there, they fit in that case really nicely. I have this Laneige lip balm. I always speak about this lip balm. I'm obsessed with it. I have a Gucci card holder. I am still on the lookout for a new card holder. I love this one, but it would be nice to just have a new one really because I've had it for so long. My car keys, and I use the Louis Vuitton 4-key holder to hold the rest of my keys. That's why they're not clinking around and they're not scratching what's inside my bag. I've got some chewing gum. I always go sugar-free chewing gum because apparently it's actually good for your teeth. Then I've got my little reusable bag. Love this. I use it so often. I have some hand sanitizer. I have a pen. And I have my iPhone. Then in the side, so that was just all in there in the pockets, and then in the side I have my Louis Vuitton pochette, which I generally use as a handbag on the weekends, but during the week I like to use it as a bit of a keep all. And inside I have my AirPods. This was just something that came with one of the dry shampoos that I bought. It was like a mini version. And it's like an anti-frizz one, so I don't think you'd ever catch me in the bathroom like putting dry shampoo in my hair, but you never know, it might actually come in handy, so I've just kept it in there. I have some tampons, some band-aids. I could just keep in here all the things that if you're in an emergency you need. I've got an iPhone cord. I've got the beautiful little Zara perfume. These are your best friend in your handbag, these little perfumes, they're so good. I've got a Lanolips hand cream, and I have a nail file. A nail file was like one of the best things I ever bought for my handbag. I never realized just how much you sort of break a nail and then you just end up ripping off the whole thing. These always come in handy, so if you are looking for little things that you need in your handbag, definitely get yourself a nail file. And I always like to try and clean out my work bag like at the end of every week, because it does start to fill up with like receipts and pieces of paper, and just I like to keep my handbag neat and functional. So I'm just popping everything back into its little spot in my bag. So that is everything back in my organizer. If you don't have an organizer, then you get the gist of what can fit inside. This actual organizer is made for a Speedy 25. So I have room right around the edges of this inside the bag. So there's still plenty of room once this is inside. So while I have nothing in the bag, I just wanted to show you a little bit more of the inside. I don't know if you can see because it is so dark inside there. Yeah, it's just a big giant space, and it's like a nice sort of velvet, like a black velvet inside, so it's really gentle, and it's really I don't find that it gets dirty or anything. So yeah, it's a really nice, it actually feels quite luxurious inside. And then the only thing that is there's no internal pockets. There's nothing like that. That might bother a lot of people, but I always have an organizer in my bag, so that doesn't bother me one bit. If anything, I kind of like just a clean, plain bucket bag. The only thing it does have is this little little loop here. It does have that on the inside, and that little loop has come in handy with my work swipe card. It's like a swipe card on a little what do you call it, like a little keychain, and often with my work card I need it, I can't get into work without it, so I don't lose it, and so I'm not looking for it all the time. I simply click it onto this little loop, and it is really good. You can clip your keys on there, your AirPods, anything that you might need to reach for quickly, you can always use that as a little spot to clip it. So that's the bag there. There's not a lot to say about it because it is so simple in its design, but that is what I love about it so much. So if you're someone who is currently looking for quite a trendy kind of not too dressy, a little more on the casual side work bag, then I can't recommend this enough. The other time that I used it recently is at the airport. I used it as my carry-on bag, and it fit all of my essentials, so my card holder, my phone. I don't usually take all of that stuff with me everywhere I go, but it was just like my card holder, my phone, a water bottle, and a jumper, so that all fit in there fine. So now I'm just going to get up and show you where the handbag sort of sits on me. Keep in mind I am 168 centimeters tall, so that might help you out in making your decision. So I'll just move the camera back and just show you how I wear it.
Why you never said you felt that way? And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade.
So there you have it, guys. That is my little review of the Louis Vuitton Noe bag and what fits inside. So I really hope you guys liked this video, and I hope I covered everything. If you did like it, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It would mean so much to me. And also, yeah, just leave a comment below, any questions, or even if you just want to spark up a conversation about vintage designer handbags. If you want to connect with me on a more sort of casual level to talk about any of this stuff, please just reach out to me on Instagram. Yeah, like I said, I love this stuff. I would love to talk about it with you, so just shoot me a message on Instagram. So yes, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one.
But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade.